Hi guys, Danny here, and welcome to my mod review of the mod Professor Flaxbeard's Wondrous Steam Power Mod, or FSP for short. Now, the mod author, Flaxbeard, some of you guys could probably recognize as being the one who made Thermic Exploration, which was one of the earliest Thaumcraft add-on mods that I reviewed. And this mod is a tech mod, as you can see here, with all the cool machines and such. And it is a really interesting mod, and you can do things like this. You can probably tell that this is my favorite part. Okay, come on. There you go. So yeah, you can see this mod adds weapons and machines and really cool armor. And I'll be talking about all that. And so yeah, let me get started. Okay, all the information you need for this mod is in this book, as you can see here. It's called Esteemed Innovation. And if I open it, really cool cover, open it here, go to the preface, and you can see that to make the book, all you need to do is throw in a book alongside zinc ore and copper ore, which is added by the mod, and you will get this book. And like I said, two ores that are added by the mod, copper and zinc, very important mods. You'll need it for most of your machines. Now this thing here, in bits and bobs, you can see the brass piston. The brass piston is going to be used in a lot of the machines, and you can see the recipe here. Note the variation here. You can either use the brass ingot or the plate. I'll be talking about the advantages of using the plate over the ingots in a bit. And lastly, we have the spyglass. What the spyglass allows you to do is, if you hold right click, it allows you to zoom in, and left clicking will allow you to zoom out, and all you can do with it is this. So where is that sign? Okay, so the sign is quite far away, so I can't read what it says, but if I right click and zoom in, now I can. Oops, there we go. And if I left click, I can zoom out. And like I said, zoom in and zoom out. So there you go, it's pretty cool. Okay, moving on to the next section, which is flintlock weapons, my favorite part of this mod, weapon parts. We can see that there are three kinds of parts: the stock, the barrel, and the flintlock. Nearly all of the weapons require these parts. And you can see the recipes here. Okay, and if you go to the musket, we can see the recipe for the bullets that all of the guns use, which is the musket cartridge. And you can see the recipe here. And as you can see here, it says that if you right click, you can both reload and you can aim as well. Okay, I'm going to spawn a pig, and then if I use this flintlock musket, you can see that first I'm reloading, and you can hear that tick, and then once I'm reloaded, what I can do is, if I hold the right mouse button, I can charge up, and then boom. I love that. That's so fun. And I'm going to go to creative to show you guys how much damage all of the weapons do. So here we go, the iron golem, and I'm going to kill it with the musket. The musket is fairly good. It's an all-rounded weapon. It has good accuracy, it has good damage. And here we go, 20 damage per bullet, and boom. Okay, that was the musket. So next we have the blunderbuss. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, probably not. Now this would be your average shotgun, and this allows you to do crowd control rather than accurate damage, but it does do a lot of damage, the most damage of all the weapons. So three golems again. 4 golems, oh nice, that was a good one. 2 there. Okay, and last one. Okay. Now the thing about the blunderbuss is that even if you're quite close to it, you might miss completely because of the spread shot, as you see there. And there. Okay, but if you are close enough, then you will kill it. Okay, moving on to the next one, which is the flintlock pistol. Now this one is a lot smaller. But it's a lot faster as well, even though there's decreased damage and accuracy. So here we go with the pistol. So boom, 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 15 damage each, which is not a lot, so I'm just gonna kill it using this musket. Okay, I love that, it's so fun. Now, even though it only lists 3, there is actually another weapon, the flintlock revolver. Now the revolver works as you'd expect it to. If I summon a couple of these pigs, go to survival, Okay, I'm gonna waste all the bullets, and you could probably see what I do. So 47 cartridges, and if I hold right click, I can reload. Okay, and if you check, I only have 41 cartridges, meaning I loaded up 6 bullets. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. There you go. Incredibly fun. Back to creative, so I can show you guys how much damage this does. 12 damage, which was just a bit lower than the pistol, but like I said, you can shoot 6 times before reloading again, so it makes it worthwhile. There's also various other tools and weapons made out of different metals. So here we have the different brass weapons and tools. We also have the gilded weapons and tools, which I can't seem to get the recipe of, so I'm assuming that he hasn't added in the recipe yet. It's not in the book either, so if I hold R there, tells me you have to use a gilded iron ingot, but you can't get the recipe of that, so I'm assuming that's going to be coming in, so I'm quite excited for that. Okay, moving on to the next thing, which is metal casting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over all these sections, and I'm actually going to show you guys how to use the different items. So here we go, the crucible. What you use the crucible for is to make alloys. You can't smelt ores here, it's only used for making alloys, and all you need to do is just throw it in there, and it'll create the alloy. So if I go here, you can see the recipe, and if I move to the next one, you can see the mold block. What the mold block is used to do is to hold the mold, and to pour the liquid metal, the liquid alloy, into the mold block while the mold is inside of the mold block. So as you can see here, all you need to do is right click with the mold, and the mold will be placed in the mold block, and then you can just right click on the vat, the crucible, and it'll pour the ore inside of the mold block, and then you can just open it up again and you will get the ingot. So here we go, the molds. We can see the different kind of molds here. All you need to do to make the mold is to put 2 bricks and you get yourself the mold. And you can switch between the various molds, various different kinds of molds in a way that I'll show in a second. What you need is this carving table, and you just right click with the blank mold on the carving table and you'll switch between the different kind of molds. Here we go, the plates. Like I said before, you can use the plates, and it's actually more advantageous to use the plates over the ingots because you get 3 plates out of 2 ingots, so you're actually saving a tiny bit of metal per plate that you use, so it's more efficient to use the plates over the ingots. I'll show you guys that in a second as well. And finally we have brass. Brass is the metal, you can see it there, the golden yellowy kind of metal that's used in all of the machines at the moment. And to make that, all you need to do is throw in a zinc and 3 copper, and you'll get yourself 4 brass ingots. Now, like I said, you either get 4 brass ingots, or you can also get 6 brass plates. Okay, we have the crucible here, and to use the crucible, you need to give it some kind of heat source. I'm just using flames at the moment. You can also use lava block. So if I try to throw in some copper ore, you can see that it just doesn't go in. Okay, however, if I throw in the actual ingots themselves, 1, 2, 3, and 1. Okay, there you go. We can see the color change, and here we have the mold block. Now I need to get some mold, so let me just get a blank mold. Like I said, 2 bricks, so that's pretty simple. And this is the carving table. And if I just right click with any kind of mold, you can see I have a nugget mold there. Right click to get a plate mold. Right click to get an ingot mold. And I'm just going to go back to the ingot mold. And what I'm going to do here is let me just go to survival. Oops, one more time. Okay. And if I right click there, okay, the mold is in the mold block, and if I right click, I can close this, and now all I need to do is right click this, and that pours the alloy inside of the mold. If I right click the mold, out pops the metal, and I've already gotten 2. This is my second one, so if I do this one more time, okay, and pop this out again, and finally one last time. If you time this correctly, you don't actually have to open it and close it at the same time. There we go. So now this should be empty. It is. So let me just throw those back in. And now all you need to do is shift right click and out pops the mold. And let me go to the plate mold. Right click this, close this up, and then pour this back in. So like I showed you guys, I threw in 2 ingots in there. So like I said, this means I should be able to get out 3 plates. Okay, this was the second plate. And finally, the third plate. I got 3 plates out of 2 ingots, so you know, like I said, quite efficient. Okay, moving on to the next section, which is steam power, which actually deals with all of the machines in the mod. So going to boiler. The boiler is what you use to make the actual steam to use in different machines and items. And all you need to do is throw in water and out pops the steam. Now I'm just going to be using buckets of water because I don't have any other mods installed to actually pump in water. But just using buckets will do as well. And if you look at the recipe, you can see 2 kinds of recipes. You can either use brass plates or ingots, and like I said, using the plates is more efficient. Okay, the pipes, you use the pipes to send steam across various machines and such. The steam gauge is used to see how much steam you have in anything, to be honest. You can put this in nearly all of the machines and it'll tell you. You use the tanks to store different amount of steams. A lot of steam, this says. I couldn't figure out an exact number, but quite a lot of steam. Okay, now we have the different kind of machines. First of all, we have the steam filler. What you use the steam filler for is you can fill steam in different kinds of items. So there you go. It's actually quite simple. So you can fill in steam inside of the different items, the different armor and things like that. We have the steam heater, which you can use to power the furnace without popping in any kinds of fuel. So it's slower, but allows for a more efficient, but as you can see here, slower rate than using solid fuels. There's also the item mortar, which you use to launch items across a large distance. And all you need to use it is, first of all, you need a hopper to insert items inside of the item mortar, and then you use an astrolabe, and then you shift right click where you want it to shoot, and then you right click on the item mortar, and it looks really cool when it lands. And next we have the steam hammer, which is used to use the different functions of an anvil without wasting experience. So as you can see, you can repair or rename items, and you can do it without spending any experience. So here we go, the different kinds of machines. This is the boiler. All you need to do is throw water in there. So if I just get a bucket of water, put it in there. Okay, we can see that going. And this creates the steam. And what I have there is the gauge, and it's just telling me that this has little to no steam at the moment. And it's all going in there and being stored in this steam tank. There we go. And the water should be done. And I can just pump water in instead of using buckets, so there is that. Okay, here we have the steam heater. I'm just using a creative steam tank to supply all the steam. I think this has a ridiculous amount of steam, so you can see that the gauge is going crazy, while over here the gauge isn't even moving. So like I said, loads of steam are passing through these pipes. As you can see, you can just connect different machines. But if you don't connect it to anything, you can see the steam escaping. And you're wasting a lot of steam if you do that. Okay, so here's the furnace that I've connected to a steam heater. Now all I need to do is throw in different kinds of ores or different kind of meat, and this just cooks it without using solid fuel. Like the book said, this is slower than using solid fuel, but it's, you know, I can't really say free because you're creating steam to power it. However, you don't have to keep throwing in coal. Another thing you can do is, if I get some pork chops, throw it in there. You don't get normal cooked pork chops, you get a different kind of pork chops. Okay, give it a second. Okay, here we go, steamed pork chops. So there you go. Okay, over here we have the steam filler, and what you use the steam filler for is to supply power, or steam in this case, to all of your different items. So let's see, if I go to survival, okay, you can see the amount of steam I have stored in my chest piece. If you look just here where my mouse is pointing, you can see that I have 15,280. So I have a module installed which allows me to fly, and if I'm just going to waste a bit of this. Okay, you can now see that the green bar isn't completely full. So what I can do is get the item, and if I just right click here, we can see that it's filling up, and if I just right click again, the armor pops out, and we can see that it's not completely full, but let me see, if I put this on, you can see that it's already more full than when I put it in, so it's 15,204. Let me take this out. This does take a while, so if I just put that back in, what was it, 15,000? Okay. I wasn't actually wearing the armor, that was just a graphical thing. So if I right click, get this back. If I put this on, you can see 17,339. So there you go. So like I said, you can use the steam filler to fill in steam in different items and your armor. Okay, what we have over here is the item mortar, which was the thing you used to send across items. And for this, I'm going to go to Creative Plus and get myself an astrolabe. Here we go. Now what you do with the astrolabe is you shift right click on a location you wanted to send item to, and then you right click on the item mortar, and that just shoots across the item. So if I just do this, okay, and okay, we can see it shot the iron. Okay, you can see it going there. So if I keep a close look at it, okay, so when it lands, it's actually really cool. There we go. Now the funny thing about this thing is if you get hit, you do lose some life, so you have to be quite careful, and all I need to do is just, just move over it, and I get the iron. So there you go. It's actually quite cool to watch this, to see it land. Okay, exact, and there you go. Okay, next we have the steam hammer. Now to use the steam hammer, all I need to do is go up here and right click, and then all I need to do is throw this damaged iron sword in there and a piece of iron. Okay, and I can move back, and I can see that the sword is being repaired. If I right click, there we go. The iron sword was made anew, and I didn't use up any experience. Although I am in creative at the moment, but you could see that the steam hammer was coming down and fixing it, and it did it by itself without using any experience. So there you go. That is the steam hammer. Okay, moving on to the armor bit, the exosuits. Now the exosuits are actually quite cool, and if I show you guys how it looks, there we go, quite cool. Yep. So back to creative. Now if I open up the section, now the exosuit kind of works like the armor from Modular Power Suit, as in the armor by itself is quite useless until you put in the different modules. So as you can see here, if you have the full set of exosuit parts, it will provide a small mining and speed boost, but without it, you will be slowed. And the first thing to do is take the chest piece and to throw it in the engineering table, and to throw in a steam tank. Now the steam tank will be where you store all of the steam. That was the thing that you saw over here in my right hand corner. And this is the various recipes. So there are different kinds of modules at the moment that you can get, different upgrades. So we have the steam jetpack, which was what I was using there. That was what I used to fly. We also have the power fist, which allows me to punch enemies and they'll go flying if I use my bare fist. And we have the fall assist, which I was using before, which is quite simple. It just lowers your fall damage that you take from long falls. We also have the steam wings, which you can use to glide, and the cool thing about it is it doesn't use up any steam. So there you go. Okay, so I have the engineering table here, and I just have it being supplied with a bit of steam. So if I go here, you can see the armor I'm wearing, and if I put this in this little square here, you can see the various amount of modules that I'm using. I'm using a creative steam tank. This just works like a normal steam tank. I'm using the power fist, and I'm using the steam jetpack. Okay, this slot here, you can see it's actually in all of these armor pieces. That is where the actual armor upgrade goes. Now, if I put all of my armor on, you can see that I'm at 3.5 armor pieces, or armor in my armor bar. But if I throw in an iron plate in there, so if I just put this here, put this back, okay, and now you can see I'm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I can do this with all of my armor pieces. And no, that's a zinc one. armor plate in there, and that just made it a bit stronger again. And here as well. And finally in my head one. There you go. And there you go. This is what a fully upgraded armor suit armor bar looks like. And another thing that you might have noticed is that there are various slots without any upgrades at the moment. That is because, like I said, very new mod, all of the things haven't been added. But even so, all this is actually quite cool. Okay. And as you can see in my foot piece, I'm already using the fall assist, which is what reduces a lot of the damage. Okay, I'm flying at the moment, and if I fall from a average height, I don't lose a lot of heart, like here. Okay, but if I do fall from quite far, it does just reduce the damage. It doesn't negate it completely. Okay, but if you're smart about this, you won't get a lot of damage anyways. Okay, that is it for the steamed innovation. However, there are a few tools that I want to talk to you guys about, specifically the steam drill, axe, and the shovel. At the moment, there are no crafting recipes for these, but you can still get them from the creative menu. And you use them like so. As you can see, there is a little green bar underneath the steam drill. And all I need to do is charge this up, and I can use this. So like I said, this works exactly like the power suit, the exosuit, as in you need steam for it to work. So right click, and this is out, and now there is no green bar. Now to use this is actually quite cool. As you can see now, it's in its what I like to call its inert state. It's you're not powering it up at the moment. It's not on. So if I try to break this, it's quite slow, and I'm not losing a lot of durability, or I'm not using a lot of steam. However, to actually start the machine, what I need to do is, if you look at the actual drill head itself, if I hold the right mouse button, you can see that it's now on. And now if I let go of the right mouse button, I can dig, but eventually it stops, and now it's not spinning anymore. However, if I press the right mouse button and the left mouse button, I can actually keep using it. And there you go. The drill bit hasn't actually stopped, so if I stop this, you can see it's still moving. Okay, I'm still digging, and it hasn't slowed down yet. And once I do, okay, it slowed down, and now I'm just mining at a lesser pace. Now the steam axe and the steam shovel work the same way. So if I hold the right mouse button, you can see the axe spinning, and eventually it'll stop. And if I hold the right mouse button there, you can see the shovel spinning, and if I let it go, you can see it stop. And like the drill itself, if you put it in the steam filler, okay, that should be topped up, and you can see the green bar went. And if I hold right mouse button, you can see it's moving, and the durability bar is back on. Okay, so there you go, the different machines. They don't have recipes yet, but still pretty cool, and you can see them, and now you know how to use them. Okay, that is it for this video. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe for more Minecraft videos. Thank you guys for watching. Ow.